Good evening. My name is Doug Blake, senior partner here at Senior Life Insurance Company, and I'd like to welcome everybody to this evening's little live stream here. I want to put this together to share with everybody just really how Senior Life has changed my life. This opportunity that Ron Powell has presented to me almost a decade ago has been it's a life-changing experience is an understatement, if that could be understated. What I love so much about this business is it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from or, your educational level or how much money you have or how much connections your family has. None of that matters. The only thing that matters in this business is how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to succeed? Now, I didn't always really understand that. So when I started in the insurance business, I got licensed in June 2010, coming off of a very successful real estate and mortgage career, but that success went away and I lost a lot. But I'm not going to get into all that right now because I just want to focus on Senior Life. And when I first got my insurance license, I remember myself, I was going through the course in school and learning about Medicare and health insurance and long-term care insurance and disability insurance and life insurance and annuities. And, I thought that I was going to sit down with Mr. and Mrs. Jones and I was going to walk out of that home every time selling 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 policies, and much like a lot of people would, right? I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys can identify with that. I thought that I was going to be able to do everything, right? Well, I learned very, very, very quickly that that didn't work. And I said, let me just focus on the basics. And at that point, I thought it was life insurance. So I started selling some life insurance, and I was a broker at the time. And, I didn't know I had no direction, zero direction. Like I had no mentor. Everybody says that they're going to help you, but nobody really helps you. They say that they have all this training, but nobody really trained you. They say that they have leads, but nobody really has them. They say you can make money quickly, but nobody really does. They say you could build a huge business, but not that many people do. And I learned that pretty quickly, that it was really, really, really tough out there being an insurance broker on my own. I had nobody to talk to, and I had no idea what I was doing. So fast forward a couple of months, I had a friend of mine in the business that said, hey, Doug, I just got set up with this company. They have leads, and they'll pay you the next day. I said, okay. I didn't have to think anything more than that. I said, let's do it. I didn't ask what the commission was. I didn't ask, what the name of the company was. I just said, I'm in. All I knew is that I was going to have people to talk to and I could get paid quickly. Well, I started with that company in September, I believe. So just a couple of months later. And I was part of an organization because my friend at the time, who was actually the same person that was my teacher for the insurance school, he was a broker. And they were bringing his entire brokerage organization over to this company. And I was kind of at that time, I'm still doing some real estate stuff. I was doing some loan modifications and, short sales and all this craziness. And so I definitely got put on the wayside because they were focusing on their existing top producers and their existing all-in people. And I never really got trained. So I remember kind of going out there, getting a couple of leads. I'll never forget the first house that I knocked on. I was praying to God that nobody opened the door because I was terrified that I had to go knock on somebody's door. And I just didn't know what to do. I was scared. And I did it like here and there. I go out there, knock on a couple doors. I get all fired up. I go out there, I knock on a couple doors, and nothing would happen. And I wouldn't go out for a couple of more days or even weeks. And I keep going through that cycle until I got a high lead balance. And my direct manager at the time wouldn't let me finance any more leads. And I was on vacation up in New Jersey, and I placed a lead order because I was getting all fired up. I was getting all fired up. I wanted to come back to Florida, and I wanted to hit the ground running, and I wanted to make this happen because I deserve it and my family deserves it, right? And he's like, Doug, you're overfinanced. There's not enough business on the books or anything pending. You got a $1,000 plus lead balance. I can't give you any more leads. And I didn't have much money at the time because I came out of the business of the mortgage and real estate business. And granted, I made a lot of money and was very successful there, but I was broke now. And I took some of the last couple $100 that I had to purchase a set of leads. So when I got back, I had 10 leads. That's all I had. But I said, Doug, we're going to make these 10 leads work, And I was having so much trouble knocking on doors and getting in the doors that, I didn't have a lot of confidence. So I grabbed those leads. I went to the neighborhood that I got the leads in. And man, I cold canvassed that neighborhood for 2 weeks. And I knocked on so many doors all around the neighborhood, and I got rid of that fear. And now I was able to get in some doors, and I was able to make some sales, But man, I'm going out there, and I live in Florida. It's so hot, sweating my you-know-what off. Coming home most days, broke, no sales, losing faith in the business, losing faith in myself. I was just becoming somebody that I did not want to become, somebody that I never was, because my whole life, it didn't make a difference if it was work, whether I was being a waiter and a bartender, I was the one that made the most tips. If I was in a sport, I was on the leaderboard. When I was doing mortgages and real estate, I was the one that, I always thrived and succeeded. And I found myself becoming someone that I didn't want to become anymore. And I always said that I was like smart and dumb at the same time. Smart enough to stay in this business, and maybe smart enough too, but I used to say it was dumb, but dumb enough not to listen to anything or anybody out there. And I just kept on grinding and kept on chipping away at it. There were so many days. I quit every day. I had to rehire myself like every morning. Worried about debt collectors, borrowing money to pay rent. Just a very, very embarrassing time. And I was at an agency meeting one time, and they asked for a volunteer to do your presentation. I don't remember if I volunteered or if they volunteered me or something, but I got up there and I did my presentation. And I got done and I was like, okay, bring on the criticism. Let's go. I got so much compliments, so many people wishing that they can present the way that I presented that day. And I thought I was doing an awful job because I had nothing to really, I had no benchmark, right? I just didn't know. I didn't know. I was so green. I was doing a phenomenal job presenting, and I didn't even know that I was doing a good job because I never opened my mouth up until that point and really asked for help. And that was a big turning point for me because now I knew, okay, Doug, it's time to wake up and it's time to get better. It's time to practice more. It's time to be more vulnerable to role playing and things like that. And things it started getting better. And I started writing some business. And it took me an entire year to have my first month where I issued over $10,000 in 1 month. A whole year. But once I hit 10, I hit 12. And if I did 12, I did 15. And then before I knew it, I was doing over $20,000 every single month. And my best year as a personal producer at that company was over $230,000 of personal production. And I was now found myself ranked in the top 13 in the country, because I was number 13, but in the top bracket of the country now. But I found myself, still wanting more, because one thing that's really neat about this business is that like what I wanted grew so much over time. I'm sure a lot of you that are watching this right now, that you want to build a huge business, right? That's everybody wants to be a millionaire. Everybody wants to build a big business, but we got to start somewhere, and we got to start by selling and being an example, right, of the opportunity. Well, I didn't feel I was much of an example because I was one of the top producing agents in the entire country, and I was still broke. I wasn't making any money because I was on a 50% contract, paying full price for leads. And I started doing the math, and I'm like, geez, my upline makes more money off of a policy when I sell it than I do. And I knew how hard it was for me, so there was no way that I was able to invite anybody, right, or teach somebody, because I wasn't a really good example of anything. And after about a year of doing that, I'll never forget, there was a big turning point where I knew that I had to get out of there. And my decision was either to get out of the business completely, because I wasn't going to do all this to be broke. That's not what I signed up for. I did this because I wanted to build a big business. And I was on a company trip, and we were like BSing with some of the other people in the pool. And this guy said to me, I didn't even realize, the guy said to me, man, I start everybody off on an 80% commission. He's like, I don't think that anybody has a chance to make it in this business if they're not on at least that. I'm like, wow, I'm on a 50. So you start people 30% higher? Can I come work for you? But with all the territories, of course, that wasn't an opportunity to do that. And also at a manager meeting, right? Because I was classified as a manager, even though I had no team, but I was showing signs of potential, so they made me a manager. And we were at a manager meeting, and the regional director at the time says that he would never represent a company that didn't pay him lifetime renewals. I'm like, well, my contract only pays lifetime renewals once you get to a 90% contract. So anything below a 90, and I was below a 90, you only got renewals for 10 years. So I'm like, something's not right. I have the main guy, the guy that everybody looks up to, saying basically that if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't work here. I'm like, something's just not right. I drank too much dang Kool-Aid, right? So I had to make a decision, and my decision was that I know that there's a lot of potential in this business, and I wanted to stay in it, but I couldn't do it where I was. And I remember getting a bunch of letters and emails from Ron Powell, the co-founder and president of Senior Life Insurance Company. But I also remember hearing a lot of negative things about the man. And I didn't understand why or how the owner of an insurance carrier could be that bad as to what they were saying. And they would say things like, they don't own the building they work in. They don't have the money to pay you. They don't have no reserves. They're broke, blah, blah, blah. They're bankrupt. Like, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. That can't, it's 2000 and, whatever it was, 13, 12 at the time. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. This is not 1945. The Department of Insurance and the, financial institutions in every state, they're not going to let you operate if you're broke. There's got to be more to this. And I always wonder, like, when somebody has to tear down somebody else's opportunity to make theirs look good, there's a problem. So after holding on to a letter that Ron sent me for a while, I threw them all out, but this one I just never threw out. And I was driving around knocking on doors one day, And I called him up and he didn't answer. And I'm like, I didn't think he would answer. He's the president of an insurance company. I mean, why would he answer my phone call? Well, about 20 minutes later, I get a phone call back from this new area code that's on my speed dial now called 229. And I picked up the phone and it was Ron Powell. And we talked for, gosh, probably an hour of me just driving in circles and driving in circles. I'm like, man, I like this guy. Like, man, like he's saying all the right, everything that I wish I had, they have it. So I'm thinking either this is my ticket or he's blowing smoke, because like at that time, I didn't hear anything but bad things about the company, how awful they were and this, that, and the other deal. So I'm like, okay, well, he offered to come on down to Florida and meet with me. Because, there's something about like sitting across the table from somebody than just on the phone. I'm a pretty good judge of character. When I sat down with Ron, I felt phenomenal. After talking to Ron for a couple of minutes, I knew that my life was never going to be the same. I knew that there were big, big, big things in store for me because I found my ticket. I found it. I found the opportunity that I was searching my whole life for. And Ron said something to me that always will stick with me. And it made me feel so good. And I don't think I ever mentioned this to him. But it's something that I've always thought about on all those days that I wanted to quit, which was, Doug, people that come directly to me and my daddy, they all make it. Doug, I'm not going to give up on you. And there hasn't been a day go by in almost 10 years now that Ron Powell has ever given up on me. And since that day in Fort Lauderdale, my life has been so different. The quality of my life has been so much better. And it isn't about the money, right? I've made millions of dollars from Senior Life Insurance Company. I've won rings, trips, Rolexes, cars, right? Money, everything. I've won it all. There hasn't been an incentive that Senior Life has put out there that I haven't won. But it's not about all that. What it's all about is the freedom that me and my family get from all of this. It's the freedom to do whatever we want, whenever we want to do it, however we want to do it. And for the first time in my life, I was able to live my life on my terms. The way that I want it, the way that I deserve to, and the way that my family also deserve to. And once I started going and I started realizing that it's more than just about me, right? Because again, when I started at Senior Life, I had to go be a producer. I had to show everybody that you can make it. And for a long time, it was me making a lot of money and not everybody making a lot of money. Just some people, a couple people, But I had to keep proving to people that this opportunity was it. And over time, people making $100,000 that were on my team, people making $100,000 a year, $100,000 a month now. I've had several people that work with me that have gotten to have a 7-figure 1099 at the end of the year. I've had several people that have been with me from almost the beginning, because when I say almost, because I started off here at Senior Life all by myself with nobody. And with all due respect, I didn't get trained by the company to any grave detail. I got mailed a box with a big, thick folder about that thick of rates and product knowledge, and I had to figure it all out myself. I had to create a business from the ground up. And guys, I made a lot of mistakes, a lot of them, because I'm the type of guy to ask for forgiveness than permission, right? And I live that way in business. I'd rather just go out there and do it. And if I got to adjust and make some corrections, then I'll do it that way. Like I'd rather just go. I'll figure it out as I go. Like if my heart's in the right place, how big of a mistake could I make that can't be fixed? You know? So I just went to work and I started hiring people and proving to people and riding along with people and pouring into people. And I realized, man, this is more than just selling some insurance policy. I mean, that side of the business is phenomenal. I mean, without insurance sales, and I think people forget this sometimes too, is that, you know, without selling insurance, nothing happens. But how phenomenal of an opportunity is it to where I can do all the things that I just described, but also share this with other people and allow them to, and help them realize everything that they want in life. And anybody can do it. I'm a living and breathing example that that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things. All day long, every day. We have countless people that prove that point every single day. From previous fast food workers to previous servers, previous teachers, law enforcement, department store workers, you know, single mothers, single fathers, like it, you name it, we got it. You know, telesales, working from home, virtual, field sale. Like, guys, you can do this however you want to do it. It doesn't make a difference who you are. And we have so many people every day taking full advantage of this opportunity. You look on the little deal behind me, up to 150% commissions. I can't believe that I have the opportunity and you all have the opportunity to earn 100% more commission than when I started out in this business on a 50% contract. 3 times the amount. How phenomenal is that? But it's not just about that. And the reason why that is because we feel that everybody should build their own business. And the only way to do it is by the ability to give people the equivalent opportunity that you have. So in following Ron Powell's lead and the remainder of all the Senior Life executive team's lead on almost everything that I do every single day, you know, it's like McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or Burger King, you know, is we're all doing it the same way. We all get up in the morning and we go to our tails to work. We get leads every day and we call people every day. We knock on doors every day. You know, and we have some phenomenal technology that the home office has created to make things easier. I remember when I started out in this business, we were writing paper apps, meeting at FedEx twice a week. Now we got Slice where everything's paperless. Like you have to worry about even calculating a rate. Everything's done for you. To Leads the way to where leads can get live transferred right to your phone. You know, and speaking of leads, guys, like leads is the secret sauce. And we have more leads than agents. We're not starving for leads. And so many people, every single day that I speak to, their biggest concern are leads and leads and leads and leads and leads. And we have it. And we have an amazing system with a variety of leads. So we're not just pigeonholed into one type of lead, right? And a neat thing about it is we control it because we don't go through lead vendors, right? We generate our own leads in-house. We don't like lead vendors because we don't like unrelated third-party companies having our book of business, because when you buy leads from other people, essentially that's what they have, right? They have your book of business, whether you want to believe it or not. And they're going to sell that lead after you at some point if they haven't already by the time you got it. All of our leads are exclusive to the agent. We never resell leads. We don't have A, B, C, D, E. We got A leads. That's all we work. Because if I'm going to go out and I'm going to work leads today, I'm going to get new leads, and that's what you're going to work. But you can't be scared to invest into leads. I was at one point. But we have phenomenal systems right now to help get you through things like daily coaching and virtual call centers and, ride-alongs with our managers. We believe in leaving no man or woman behind. That every week we ask that you submit in your production to your upline so that way we know who we got to help and who we got to ride along with. Because at the end of the day, I don't care how much production that you're writing. I care how much money are you putting in your bank account every day. That's what's most important. And through this opportunity with Senior Life, like I said, I made millions. It still blows my mind. Sometimes I sit back and I look and I'm like, man, like, wow. Like, the time went so fast. And I remember the first meeting and conference call that I attended many, many, many years ago. And they introduced the big guy, the guy that was killing it. And everybody wanted to be like him. To fast forward the hands of time now to now being that person on other people's calls and at meetings, it still blows me away. And I did it because I was never satisfied with any success. I always wanted more. Last month, our goal was 1.5 million in new production. We did 1.4 million, a little over 1.4 million, 1.45 million. Well, my goal this month now is 2 million. Because I'm not satisfied with where we're at. I've never been satisfied with where we're at. Because I got to continue to keep growing and building this thing to a massive level. Because if I don't, then people are going to stop believing. Here at Senior Life, we believe in leading by example from the front. The day that I stop is the day that things start going down. And I promise every one of you that I will never stop because I need to continue to keep proving to all of you that this is the single best opportunity in America today. Where can you go earn a 6-figure income right out of the gate your first 12 months? You could do it here. And we have so many people that do it all the time. Regular people. Just like me and you. Folks, this business, again, specifically Senior Life Insurance Company, has been life-changing for me. I've been able to not only set up myself and my family for financial freedom, but I've also been able to give that same opportunity and help others realize the exact same thing that I've been so thankful and grateful and fortunate to realize, which is financial freedom. And we have the relationships that I've built over the years are ones that will outlast some of my most childhood relationships and friendships that I've had. Because we're a true team. We're a family. And I learned all of that from Ron Powell. Because what I learned in this business is that people will follow whatever example that you give them, good or bad. And it's not about what you do for people. It's how you make them feel. And Ron does an amazing, phenomenal job of making you feel great and always leading from the front and being a prime example of what this opportunity can do. And I feel that my job is just to continue to keep passing that torch to the next person in hopes that so many more people, millions of more people, will get an opportunity to realize exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I can't promise you that you're going to make 6 figures. I can't promise you that you're going to make $1 million. But I can promise you that the opportunity to do that is there. And I know it because I've lived it and I've achieved it, and I'm no different than each and every one of you. So if you're watching this video or this live stream and you want something more out of your life, then get with whomever invited you to this call, or call me directly at 954-317-8072. And I would be more than happy, or the person that invited you to this call would be more than happy to get into a little bit more specifics on this phenomenal opportunity that we call Senior Life Insurance Company. It's been a privilege to be in the position that I'm able to be in every single day. Every Sunday afternoon, evening, when people are getting into a slight stage of depression because Monday morning blues, I'm fired up, I'm excited. I can't hardly sleep at night on Sundays because I'm so excited to go to work on Monday. You could do this anywhere, from home, out in the field, on top of the buildings, on the moon, in China. It don't matter, folks. You can operate a bit. We got an agent that lives in Costa Rica, surfs every morning, and makes an amazing living selling insurance over the telephone, and he lives in Costa Rica. How phenomenal is that? You could do it from anywhere in the world and make a ridiculous amount of money doing it. And you're only limited to what you can dream in your head and how hard you're willing to work to go get it. You know, I had a whole bunch of things and papers all lined up of what I was going to say, but, you know, once I click go, I just want to speak to all you guys from the heart. I love what I do every day. I'm so, so, so grateful for the Powell family and for Senior Life Insurance Company and for every single person that works at the home office that helps us get the job done every single day. And I know that this is just the beginning. And I'm really, really, really looking forward to meeting you and helping you realize all your goals and dreams like I have. Thank you all for your time today. Have a great rest of your evening.